If genius means eternal loneliness, is Rick a god? Or just cursed to play one? If you could do absolutely anything, would anything still matter? And if infinite versions of you exist across infinite realities, what makes this choice, this moment, this you, special at all? Today we're about to tear into one of the smartest, darkest, most batshit brilliant shows ever animated, Rick and Morty. This isn't just a recap series. We're going deeper. We're cracking open the philosophy, the psychology, the why behind the chaos. Let's go. Chapter 1. Midnight Revelations. The Neutrino bomb and the absurdity of existence. Our story begins late at night. A completely wasted Rick barges into his grandson Morty's bedroom and drags the sleeping kid onto his newly built spaceship. No time to explain, get in. The ship wobbles through the night sky as Rick unveils his insane plan. Build a neutrino bomb, blow up the entire Earth, and reset everything to zero. You won't have to be lonely, he adds. I'll bring Jessica, that girl you've got a crush on. You two can be the Adam and Eve of the new world. Morty is terrified. Sure, the proposal sounds kind of exciting, but blow up the Earth? While Morty's drowning in fear, Rick casually adds, don't worry, I won't mess around with Jessica. I'm not that kind of guy. The entire show is built on this kind of darkly comedic misdirection. No matter how serious things get, Rick's focus always lands on trivial details. Or rather, everything is trivial to Rick. World destruction? How could that possibly be more important than relationship drama? From the very beginning, we're face to face with a cynical man wielding tremendous power. Panicking, Morty lunges at the control panel, trying to grab the wheel. Rick impatiently stops the ship and lifts his head from the pile of clanking bottles at his feet. Relax, this is just a test, don't take it seriously. But the ship's blaring alarm suggests otherwise, and with that, Grandpa passes out. This opening seems absurd, but it's actually a philosophical sucker punch. Rick's Adam and Eve plan reveals the core of his worldview, the meaninglessness of existence. When you've mastered interdimensional technology and realized there are infinitely many parallel universes, uniqueness and value lose their foundation. Your life? Replaceable. Human civilization? Restartable. Moral taboos? Non-existent. This is nihilism taken to its extreme. And that line, just a test, exposes Rick's arrogance as someone operating on a higher plane. Destroying the world? I can joke about that casually. Of course! It's more likely this wasn't a joke at all. It's just that his grandson objected so strongly, he backed off. After all, Earth is about as significant as a basketball to Rick. Destroy it, don't destroy it. Whatever. Just call it a test as an excuse. This man, the smartest scientist in the universe, puts humanity on the brink of annihilation in his very first appearance. This isn't education, it's the implantation of trauma. Morty is thrown into Rick's world, experiencing what Heidegger called thrownness. The individual is always thrown into circumstances they didn't choose, passively enduring an incomprehensible fate. Chapter 2. War at the Breakfast Table, a Dysfunctional Family. The next morning at the breakfast table, Morty's so exhausted from last night's terror that he keeps dozing off. This triggers a total family meltdown. Jerry explodes. Rick responds nonchalantly, Jerry, sleep wastes half our lives. What kind of person says that? Jerry nearly jumps out of his seat. If he doesn't sleep, how's he supposed to go to school? School? Rick scoffs. A bunch of people learning that stuff together is a complete waste of time. Smart people shouldn't be in school. Jerry completely loses it. He wants to send this crazy old man to a nursing home. This argument exposes the pathological structure of the family. Rick's rejection of school isn't just questioning the education system. It's a complete deconstruction of all social disciplinary mechanisms. To him, schools, laws, and moral norms are all collective illusions humans created to cope with existential anxiety. They're utterly meaningless on the scale of an infinite universe. Throughout this fight, Beth constantly plays firefighter, hoping to calm things down. Before leaving, Rick casually compliments her breakfast, and his daughter bursts into tears of joy. This detail is suffocatingly cruel. From later episodes, we know Beth was abandoned by her father for 20 years. Now a throwaway compliment can bring her to tears, exposing the extreme fragility of her emotional system. She needs her father's approval so desperately that she'll tolerate his destructive behavior to excess, even sacrificing her own children's well-being. This family is sick from the start. A daughter controlled by abandonment trauma, a son-in-law driven by authority, anxiety, a father armed with nihilism, and a child lost in the cracks between them all. Oh, and I almost forgot. There's also a sister, Summer, who doesn't have much presence yet. Chapter 3. Daily life at school. Desire, bullying, and the order of power. In math class, the teacher preps a quiz, but Morty's mind is completely on Jessica. The numbers before his eyes transform into erotic daydreams. Jessica walks toward him, asking him to touch her bare breasts. Teenage hormones completely overwhelm reason. He's utterly immersed in sexual fantasy. Break time arrives, which is also Morty's daily bullying hour. Frank, the typical school bully, roughly grabs him and slams him against the lockers. That's when Rick suddenly appears, freezes the bully mid-swing, and pulls off a cool rescue. Come on, Morty, we've got things to do. Even more ironic, at that exact moment, Morty's sister Summer happens to walk by. She sees Frank, her heart flutters, and she rushes over to chat him up, her mind full of fantasies. Maybe we'll fall in love, get married, have kids. She awkwardly organizes her words, and then Frank shatters into pieces on the floor. This seemingly ordinary school scene profoundly displays the prison of desire and social Darwinism, revealing the interweaving of multiple power and desire structures. Morty's obsession with Jessica embodies the Sartrean dilemma of the gaze of the other. We might think Morty loves Jessica herself, but he can't communicate normally with her, and that stems from his insecurity. In later stories, I discovered that many times, if Morty just regains his confidence, his love shifts from Jessica to other beautiful women, because at that point, Morty no longer needs this woman to fill the void in his heart. He's strong enough to handle any woman, and Jessica becomes just an ordinary woman. So, is he in love with Jessica herself, or is he in love with himself as recognized by Jessica? He places all existential meaning entirely on external validation. His sexual fantasy isn't just biological impulse. It's a craving for social status. If Jessica accepts him, he can escape the identity of loser. But this pattern inevitably leads to anxiety, because the other can never truly fill the void of the self. He is a prisoner of the other's gaze. The bullying scene exposes the brutal truth of school as a miniature society. Frank's violence toward Morty isn't just personal behavior. It's the daily practice of social Darwinism. The strong confirm their status by dominating the weak. Even more cruel, Summer's infatuation with Frank reveals a disturbing fact. Violence and dominance often equal charisma in teenage society. Bullies become objects of worship, while victims are completely marginalized. Summer's fantasy about Frank mirrors Morty's fantasy about Jessica. Both are seeking recognition, both idealizing the other. But Summer's choice inadvertently reinforces the oppression of her brother. Her admiration for the bully essentially denies Morty's value at the family level. In this process, Summer, in a sense, also becomes an indirect bully to Morty. Yes, whether it's Morty or Frank, bully and bullied, they actually share something in common. They're both fools who need to rely on external perspectives to construct inner satisfaction, weaklings living within worldly frameworks. But soon, the strong one who transcends the worldly arrives. Rick's sudden appearance breaks this power game. In broad daylight, he opens a portal and takes Morty out of school. This is blatant violation of social rules. But no one can stop him, because his abilities transcend all rules. This reveals a profound philosophical paradox. In the miniature society of school, Frank is the strong, Morty is the weak. But Rick's existence proves all these social hierarchies are relative, fictitious. From a higher dimensional perspective, both the strong school bully and the weak bullied are equally insignificant, equally meaningless. Rick is the Nietzschean overman, transcending moral judgments of good and evil, transcending the constraints of social rules. But this transcendence doesn't bring liberation. Instead, it brings deeper nihilism. When you can open portals to any dimension, when you can violate physical laws and social rules at will, then all order, meaning, and value in this world become a joke. Morty is rescued from the bullying scene, but he hasn't truly escaped. He's only moved from one form of power oppression, campus violence, into another form of power oppression, Rick's absolute control. Chapter 4. Interdimensional Adventure. The extremes of rationality and the absence of morality. On the other side of the portal is a dreamlike world with gorgeous skies and delicious-looking plants. Rick explains, "There's a magical tree here. The seeds from this tree contain infinite power and are very helpful for my research." Morty is uneasy. "Shouldn't I be getting back to class?" "What? Class? Look around you. This beautiful planet. These colorful backdrops. The vastness of heaven and earth. This is magnificence you can't see in textbooks and picture albums. And you still want to go back to school? Sticking with your grandpa Rick is 10,000 times more important than school." At the cliff's edge, Rick says, "The magical tree is down there. Put on these shoes and you can walk down the cliff." Then Morty gets completely screwed. He takes his first step and falls straight down. "Silly kid, you have to turn on the switch first." Rick unhurriedly follows down, looking at Morty's mangled, bloody legs. Morty groans in pain. After pleading, even bringing up at least Hitler cared about Germany, he finally gets Grandpa to take action. Rick opens a portal, returns moments later with a vial of serum, and injects it into Morty's leg. The leg instantly heals completely. That dimension has highly advanced medicine. Rick says while waiting for Morty to climb the tree and collect seeds. This serum is all over the streets there. They can practically stay young forever. Old Man Me is quite popular there, juggling different hot women. But I used up all the charge on my portal gun, so now I can't portal back. Then how do we get back to class? Morty panics. We can take the interdimensional bus, Rick says. The only problem is we have to pass through customs, so you need to hide the seeds in your body. Your rectum is the best cover. Because mine's all loose and floppy now, but you're young, nice and tight. In the intergalactic customs hall, Morty waddles out of the bathroom, patting his butt. The barbs on the seeds make him very uncomfortable. The security guard directs him toward a new device that can detect items hidden deep inside the body. Rick realizes the plan is falling apart and immediately shoves past the guards, shouting, "Morty, run!" All the customs guards mobilize. Grandfather and grandson draw weapons and shoot their way out. During the escape, Morty accidentally inhales an alien substance and coughs out a humanoid creature. That creature experiences its entire life cycle in just seconds: birth, growth, aging, death. And that creature dying instantly compresses the absurdity of existence into just a few seconds, forcing us to confront the fragility and meaninglessness of life. Under Rick's manipulation, Morty begins killing alien creatures to buy Rick time. Morty is clearly a novice, but Rick keeps deceiving him. They're robots, but those dying screams clearly aren't. Guilt about taking lives? Just weave a lie, make yourself feel okay about it, and everything seems fine. This adventure is a showcase of extreme instrumental rationality. Rick uses science to solve everything. Need seeds? Interdimensional travel. Need to smuggle? Use your grandson's body. Run into trouble? Shoot your way out. Maximum efficiency. Completely ignoring morality. When enlightenment rationality reaches its extreme, it becomes a cold, calculating machine. Chapter 5. The final twist. The hypocrisy of success above all. Meanwhile, the school notifies Jerry and Beth that Morty has only attended 7 hours of class in 2 months. The parents decide to send Rick to a nursing home. But Rick has a countermeasure. He has Morty demonstrate stunning intelligence in front of his parents, answering complex questions and performing deep analysis. Jerry and Beth are stunned and leave satisfied. Morty is also amazed by his own brilliance. Only then does Rick reveal the truth. It's a side effect of the magical seeds up your butt. This reversal is deeply ironic. When Morty displays high intelligence, all moral considerations are abandoned, because superior intelligence represents worldly success. And as long as you can succeed, everything else becomes irrelevant. Skipping class, adventures, even killing a few people? Poor Frank. The child's happiness and health are worthless in the face of success. What exactly is successful education? Soon, the seed's effect wears off, and Morty begins convulsing in pain. I had to give up those seeds just to get your parents off our back, so now we gotta go get more. We're gonna have more adventures, Morty. You gotta keep your mouth shut, because the world is full of idiots who don't understand what's important, and they'll tear us apart. But if you stick with me, I'm gonna accomplish great things, and you're gonna be part of it. Rick and Morty, forever and ever, 100 years Rick and Morty. This monologue is the philosophical apex of the entire episode. Although Rick pursues absolute freedom, rejecting all external constraints, his impact on Morty is irreversible. He needs Morty, though at this point, the reasons remain unclear. Maybe he needs Morty's brainwaves as cover. Maybe he needs a witness, a sidekick, a fool to set off his greatness, an other to give his actions meaning. Or maybe a family member to help him dissolve his loneliness. When you can do anything, nothing matters anymore. This is the existentialist paradox. Rick's infinite possibilities instead lead to the meaninglessness of action. He tries to use the grand narrative of we're gonna accomplish great things to justify his instrumental use of Morty, but Morty's convulsing body itself is a silent accusation against this evasion. Chapter 6. Conclusion. The absurd is the everyday. Rick and Morty, Episode 1, constructs a brutal philosophical laboratory. When nihilism meets family ethics, when absolute rationality meets emotional needs, when enlightenment rationality reaches its end, what we see isn't victory, but the abyss. This isn't a simple genius and dumb grandson comedy, it's an allegory about the predicament of modernity. Can technological rationality solve fundamental problems? Rick masters interdimensional technology, but can't handle his relationship with his daughter. He can build weapons of destruction, but can't find meaning in his own life. How do we rebuild meaning after values collapse? Rick destroys all norms, but besides nihilism and alcoholism, he builds nothing. He proves the ease of deconstruction and the difficulty of construction. Are freedom and connection destined to oppose each other? Rick's absolute freedom leads to absolute loneliness, while Morty's emotional needs cause him to completely lose autonomy. Rick represents the ultimate form of enlightenment rationality, and its self-destruction. Morty symbolizes ordinary people seeking meaning in a fragmented world. Beth is a victim of intergenerational trauma transmission. Jerry is the mediocre man crushed by modernity. Their adventures are essentially the eternal question. In an absurd universe, how should humans exist? Behind the laughter lies a merciless interrogation of human nature, morality, and existence itself. And the most terrifying part is this. We are both Rick, seeking meaning in the void, and Morty, thrown into an incomprehensible world. And that Smith family, maintaining surface peace in dysfunction. The absurd isn't somewhere else. It's in each of our daily lives. That's all for today's content. As a fan, I hope Rick and Morty stay together forever, adventuring for 100 years. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Thank you.